Hello everyone, my name is Shiho Takai. I'm an associate professor and one of the core faculty members of Global-J. My specialty is classical Japanese literature and theater with a focus on Joruri puppet theater, a form of early modern popular theater, also known as bunraku today. I am in front of the Subuchi Memorial Theater Museum. One of the permanent exhibitions is dedicated to early modern theater, Joruri and Kabuki. Let's take a look at some materials in the early modern room. This room is dedicated to exhibitions on Kabuki and Joruri. The current theme of the exhibition is ghost stories, especially in late Edo Kabuki. One significant difference between Joruri and Kabuki was their difference in focus. Kabuki is an actor-centric drama and Joruri is a text-based storytelling genre. Joruri's play scripts were published and circulated widely. They were used for amateur performance and practice and also appreciated as literature. In addition to play scripts, other materials related to theatrical performances were also published, such as posters, flyers, and brochures. You can find such materials in this room alongside colorful woodblock prints, costumes, and models of the contemporary Edo period theaters. Here are posters of a Kabuki play, Tsuji Banzuke, and you can find similar publications for Joruri as well. Such posters feature illustrations of the highlights of the play, as well as the names of the theater, playwrights, and performers. Here are some examples of Joruri texts. This is a script of Imoseyama Onna Taking, Mount Imo and Mount Se, Precepts for Women, a Joruri play that was first performed in 1771 and later adapted into Kabuki. It includes all 5 acts of the play with 7 lines per page. This is an excerpt of one scene from the play Sesshu Gappo Gatsuji, Gappo at the Crossroads. This one only has 5 lines per page and the font is bigger. Both of these texts include musical notations and directions in between the lines of the main text. However, the excerpted version is in a bigger font, making it more suitable for use in practicing the performance rather than silent reading. This book is from the Meiji period, and it shows how Joruri remained popular for amateur performance into the modern period. The variety of materials at the Theater Museum allows you to approach Joruri along multiple dimensions as popular theater, literature, and participatory entertainment. When you do specialized research of historical materials, you can visit Building 6 of this campus right here and access its rare materials in person. Also, many of the museum's collections are digitally archived and available online. However, the charm of this museum is its wide coverage of many things related to theater. When you visit this main building of the Theater Museum right here, you can browse a wide variety of materials alongside their historical precursors, modern renditions, contemporary reincarnations, as well as the theatrical traditions of other cultures. For example, you may be struck by the similar focus on dangerous women or femme fatales in various posters from different cultures' theater traditions, or their use of masks, or mesmerized by music from theatrical form you've never experienced before. In Global-J seminars, we take students to visit museums and libraries like this one. It is always a wonderful experience to visit here and see how your specialized topic relates to the larger global phenomenon of theater and performance.
Greetings to everyone. My name is Christopher Reeves. I, like the others, am an associate professor of Japanese literature at Waseda University and one of the core faculty members of our newly established graduate program known as Global-J. In my own research, I focus mainly on Heian period Kambun, which, as you may know, is a type of literature written in classical Chinese. Considering I do a lot of work with Chinese literature, I tend to adopt a comparative approach to Japanese literature and culture. You may wonder why I've chosen to show you my office and not one of the university's libraries or some other fancy university-related building. Well, the reason is simple. I wanted you to get a quick peek at the sort of things we'll be reading together at Global-J. As you can see from this curious assortment of books, we will be looking at all sorts of things, including fairy tales, mythology, diaries, essays, short stories, poetry, history, and more. My hope is that by investigating a wide variety of texts and genres, both in English and in Japanese, we can cultivate a truly comparative perspective. It seems to me that some familiarity with translation theory is necessary if we wish to formulate informed ideas about the effects of translation on our understanding of texts. Translation is, after all, a kind of creative rewriting or adaptation, something that helps us interpret texts in new and exciting ways. I assume that you're all interested in engaging with an international audience. The more international you get, the more you'll have to rely on and eventually create all kinds of translations. After all, not all your readers will be able to read Japanese. Aside from primary texts, we will also be looking at academic articles and monographs written by modern scholars, both in English and in Japanese. As you'll soon discover, if you haven't already, English language scholarship on Japanese culture and literature is quite different from the sort of scholarship on the same subject written in Japanese. For reasons we may discuss in class together, English language scholarship and Japanese language scholarship have developed in different directions. While Japanese language research tends to be more philological, sticking closely to primary texts, English language research tends to be more theory-based, embracing a wider variety of texts and academic fields. I am convinced that the best sort of research into Japanese culture and literature is the sort that takes into consideration both English language and Japanese language scholarship. As you can see, I have a number of pictures on my wall over here. Some of them are from children's books, like this one from a version of Aesop's Fables, while others are enlarged copies of images from various sources. Some students have chosen to focus on different types of visual media, and I find while working with these students that studying the artwork of various traditions and ages helps me both in my own research and my teaching. Illustrations, be they modern-day children's books on pre-modern painted scrolls or in other types of print media, new and old alike, provide us with insights that might otherwise escape our attention were we to focus only on the written word. Well, now you've seen my office. You've seen too how disorganized my shelves are. I have my books like this on purpose, you know. Mixing everything up like this helps me think outside the box. I like to have old books right beside new ones, Japanese books on top of English ones, literature alongside history, and serious things crowded together with lighter stuff. This setup keeps me creative. I hope to be able to share some of that creativity with you all.